Rebound loose, and it's tipped by Thibault. He throws it ahead to Maxey. The Sixers are going to win. Maxey lays it in. Oh, man, overtime winner. Oh, baby, what a game. They are on their feet. The Sixers win in overtime. Thibault got the rebound, pitched it all the way down the court. Maxey, like a sprinter out of the blocks, gathered it in and scored it at the buzzer. What a game. Game of the year. 122, 119.
That was a heck of a game. Oh, my God, what a game, dude. What a freaking game. All right, guys. Welcome back to Processed, a 76ers podcast. I'm Jack Morgan. It's been a bit, right? I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It has been a bit. Things have come up, and honestly, there's a lot. The Sixers here, dude, what is going on? I mean, there's a lot going on with this team. We got a lot to talk about on this edition of Processed. Just want to make sure everybody knows, because today when I'm starting this podcast, and I'm starting this at 3:53. At 4 o'clock, it will be the launch of the new sports network. I'm joining Liberty Sports Network. It's where the podcast will be going. So, of course, I'm very excited for that. And you know what? I think that personally, I'm really excited for this. And at the end of the day, here's a real, the biggest reason as to why, I joined this. There's a lot on TV today. I mean, what are you watching, right? I mean, you're watching all this crap, and all these guys that are older, right? And quite frankly, I don't think they're good at their jobs. I think they don't do well. They don't capture the audience. And most of all, I think it's time for them to go. So that is where we come in. It is a group of young content creators. So make sure to join the revolution and follow the Liberty Sports Network on Twitter. At Twitter, it is capital LSN _ capital O official. And make sure to go to linktr.ee/Liberty Sports Network to the link tree to make sure to check out all of our socials. But it's gonna be really good. It's really fun. I'm glad to have joined it. And that's where the podcast is right now, where we'll be going. So let's get into it. And this might be a half hour one today. A half hour or whatever. However, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Either way, here's the situation. Sixers, they win against the Grizzlies. That game was incredible. I don't know how the Sixers won that game. By the way, the refs sucked in that game, right? I don't think those refs were abysmal. And the 2-minute reports, for better or for worse for Sixers, exposed those flaws. How many travels they didn't call? God almighty, dude. I mean, I could barely watch a game without screaming, walk, travel, foul. Nope, it was awful. At the end of the day, the referees need to be held accountable for this crap, because they're blowing games. They're costing teams games. And they don't get fined. They don't get suspended. No, none of that. None of that. Because why would we ever discipline someone that has started to have a big impact on the game and should not have a big impact on the game? That's not their job. Their job's to regulate the game, not make an impact on it, make a splash because they don't know what the hell they're doing. That's my biggest issue right now with the referees, and I think it's gone too far. I think you've allowed the referees to kind of stomp on your head without unknowingly, the NBA. It needs to stop. It's been abysmal, the referee in terms of the performances of the referees these days. Anyways, I mean, the Sixers overcome that. Tyrese Maxey, phenomenal. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal. I've never seen a performance without your best player. Now, usually when you have Joel Embiid out, right, it never goes well. Let me know of one time in your recollection when Joel Embiid has been out in the past few years where the Sixers have went ahead and said, you know what? Big man ain't here tonight, but we're going to make him proud. We're going to win it for the big fella. Not once has this happened. This doesn't happen. It's not a normal occurrence for Sixers, who usually these games they drop, and they drop emphatically, and it's embarrassing at times. It almost bolsters Joel Embiid's case for MVP, right? I mean, if you see him get his team getting their asses kicked every other night when he's not in the lineup, because he saw it early in his career, he had a lot of rest games. He made it into about double digits, maybe 20 games. It might have been without a rest. I'm proud of him for that. I think that's a really good step in the right direction. At the end of the day, you look at Joel Embiid and you look at the Sixers. The Sixers need Joel Embiid. But this roster is too talented to not pick up a few games when he unfortunately has to miss a game or two due to rest or injury. They're too talented to not pick up wins and take care of business every once in a while against a good team as well. Throw it in there when he's out. This team has a good supporting cast around Joel Embiid. Could it be improved upon to make it a championship supporting cast? Yes, it really can. I think the Sixers are contenders right now. You tell me why the Sixers aren't a contender. They prove they can win without Embiid against a very quality opponent. They prove they can win on the road. Their road record is actually better than their home record, believe it or not. And they are gelling well as a team. They are not just a team, they are a family. Even with a $30 million hole in their cap. And a $30 million hole that's also wreaking havoc on the organization and the franchise. How are you going to look straight in my eye and tell me that they aren't a championship contender? A contender. A contender. Don't tell me that they're not a contender, because they are. At the end of the day, that is them. They are a contender. Now, I'll get back to them. We'll get back to what the future is looking like for for Sixers in terms of their schedule. But there was a rumor that came out today about Bradley Beal, right? And what's going to happen with Bradley Beal? So there's a report that came out, and this is from David Aldridge and Josh Robbins of The Athletic, saying the Sixers have held firm in their stance that they specifically don't want to make guard Tyrese Maxey or wing Matisse Thybulle part of a package for Bradley Beal. And despite that, they also saying the Sixers have made it no secret that Beal is among the players they would be willing to take in exchange for the Sixers. Now, the Sixers have made him available, and they have also made Tobias Harris available, right? Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris have been the two key guys they've wanted to include in a big-time trade to try and relieve the fact that you're not going to have Matisse Thybulle or Maxey in the trade. And I'm going to be quite honest, and I saw a tweet on this earlier today, and I, for the most part, agree with this. If you don't want to put Matisse Thybulle in a trade for Bradley Beal, you are not a true Sixers fan. I'm sorry, but I don't know how the hell you can go ahead and tell me that you don't want to put in Matisse Thybulle. Matisse Thybulle plays great defense, right? Plays absolutely great defense. But at the end of the day, if that's what you need to get done to acquire a perennial all-star in this league that can help you win a championship this year and in the years to come, if you don't want to do that, I don't know what to tell you, but that is dumb. I'd be dumbfounded if they really didn't do this trade because Matisse Thybulle. Tyrese Maxey, I get, right? Tyrese Maxey has been producing at every level this season. He has been incredible. Matisse Thybulle, he's been great on defense, don't get me wrong. But can he play? He can't play offense as well to the point where I'm going to make him an untouchable. No doubt you're not taking Matisse Thybulle. If I'm able to get Matisse Thybulle away and Ben Simmons away for Bradley Beal, I'm sorry, good freaking riddance to Matisse Thybulle. I don't care. I don't think there's a chance in hell that I'll decline that. I'm pretty sure my lights are on the lowest dim quality. Is that? Oh, wow. Okay. Maybe it's not. Jesus, dude, I'm a dope. And you were right. There are plenty of Matisse styles in the league. To an extent, I think Matisse is one of the best defensive players in the league. But even that, he's not a 3-and-D. He doesn't shoot the three ball well. That's no secret. And at times he hesitates to shoot the three ball well. So he's not so much a 3-and-D player, which also, because of my point, he's not a 3-and-D player. You can call him a 3-and-D player all you want. Say he's a 3-and-D player. You can't trade him because then you're going to be a loss for those types of players. You know what? Bradley Beal plays fine defense, but he plays exceptional on the offensive end. He can shoot a three ball better than Ben Simmons and Matisse Thybulle combined. He can make an impact on the game more than a Matisse Thybulle or Ben Simmons. Sometimes Matisse Thybulle makes a bigger impact on the defensive end, but that's not every night. Bradley Beal is going to make an impact on a game every single freaking night. When you go into a game, you will have to worry, all right, what are we going to do about Bradley Beal? When you go into a game, you're going to say, what are we going to do about Matisse Thybulle? What are we going to do about him on the offensive end? He's a real threat. No, you just have to compete with him on defense. His defense is great, but that's one guy out of 5 guys on the courts. If you have Matisse Thybulle going, you don't feel comfortable taking that matchup, pursuing that matchup, stay away from whoever Matisse Thybulle is guarding at all costs for the most part, right? I mean, at the end of the day, Matisse Thybulle can make an impact on end of the court, and that end of the court, the defensive end of the court, his impact can be diminished by an opposing team's strategy. On the offensive end, if you're really good at scoring the basketball, which Bradley Beal is, you're going to get yours. You're going to make an impact on the game. And teams are going to be like, as I just said, they're going to get theirs. But at the end of the day, how about these surrounding cast? The surrounding cast, Joel friggin' Embiid. Tyrese Maxey's been playing well. Tobias Harris, he started to pick it up, and I think he will continue to play well. He had 33 the other night. A great night from Tobias Harris as well. This team will be dangerous. An absolutely dangerous team that can be even more dangerous if you get James Harden in the offseason. Tyrese Maxey, Bradley Beal, James Harden, Joel Embiid. If you keep Tobias, which you probably can't, all right, then we're talking about Tobias. You're talking about either you can put Beal at the 1. You can go ahead and put Beal, you could put Maxey on the bench. You go Beal, Harden at the 1, Beal at the 2, Matisse at the 3, and at the 4, I shouldn't say Matisse, because Matisse, theoretically, in this theoretical scenario, where I say, you know what, to hell with it, feed Matisse to the Wolves. You got to do what you got to do. Currently, without Harden, because you're going to get him in free agency, or you hope at least. A lot of reports about James Harden wanting to come to Philly. Great, but let me see him actually come to Philly and sign on that dotted line. Then we can talk. But anyways, you're looking at a lineup now. If you trade a Matisse Thybulle, Ben Simmons package, you're talking about Maxey, Beal. Who am I forgetting at the 5? Who am I forgetting at the 5 right now? I'm forgetting somebody, and I know it's a very key piece. Oh, I'm forgetting about the Seth Curry piece. That's usually at the 2. All right, either way, you're talking about a team with a 4-headed monster. Tyrese Maxey, Bradley Beal, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid. And that bench looks pretty damn good as well. You have Seth Curry coming off the bench. You got Drummond as your backup center, which is still, I think, is a very good investment that was made by Daryl Morey. Talking about Daryl Morey, and I know he's been hesitant to take the Ben Simmons trades, but I like it because it's teaching Ben Simmons There's no easy way out. We're going to look out and see what's best for our franchise, not what's best for you. To hell with what you want. You've been causing us all this crap and distraction throughout the year. You're not going to get what you want. We're not going to bail you out just so you can feel good about yourself. At the end of the day, you abandoned this team. So, no, don't give him what he wants. We'll find a good trade for ourselves. But now, Maury, I think it's time to pull the trigger. I think it's time for you to go ahead and say, you know what? You got a Halliburton out there. Now, I don't know if the Kings are fully out because you've heard that the teams were out and then they enter the sweepstakes again. I don't count them out until they are out. Until Ben Simmons is gone. I don't count them out. The Kings. Can you take a Halliburton? Yes. I take a Halliburton at this point because I don't want to wait until a situation where you might not even have to have a sign and trade for Harden. You realize this, there's so much that can happen. And by the way, you still have Tobias Harris, because I'm not so sure Tobias Harris is going anywhere, and I don't think he's going to be included in these trade talks. You're talking about maybe a Halliburton. If you can get a Bradley Beal, pull the damn trigger already. All right, enough is enough. You taught him his lesson. We fined him $20 million. That's laughable. It's absolutely freaking laughable, but I love it. And I loved it. And I still do. I think it's really funny, but do what's best for the team. What's best for the team is getting this guy the hell out of here and getting a guy that's not dead weight and can help you win a championship now. Right now. Can help you win a championship because you got Joel Embiid playing at a prime level. This is his prime. No doubt about it. It's his prime of his career. In these next 2 or 3 years, it's his prime. It's going to go downhill from there. If you don't go all in now, you'll never be able to go all in with Joel Embiid as your franchise player ever again in your life. Do not risk it. Do not do something stupid. Just do it. Just do it because you're never going to be able to do it again after about a few years. You're going to continually regret not doing a trade like this. All right, so Bradley Beal, right? And I'm looking on Twitter now, and I got a trade from at Philly_era, Philly era, and they're on the up and coming, on the upcut. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. They're coming up. They're starting to be. They're going to become a really good page for Philly sports. I have a very good thought that they will. I have a good idea that they will. By the way, mock trades. These mock trades, I push them aside and there's been many mock trades that people just go on the ESPN trade machine during their classes or during work and just put random shit in and see what happens. Yeah, I'm not one to do it, but I know a lot of people will, and more power to them, but some of them are ridiculous and unrealistic. So a mock trade they brought up, it's Bradley Beal for Ben Simmons, Shake Milton, and a first-round pick. And he's also saying he does not think Matisse or Tyrese. God, try saying those names without getting them mixed up. They should not be in the package at all. I tend to agree, but I would like that to be the case, but I don't think that's going to happen at the end of the day. I don't think that's a feasible option to pull with the Wizards. I think they want them in that package. And that's how it's going to be, unfortunately. But anyways, we'll see what happens. I don't know if you're going to look at a Bradley Beal and say, you know what? If you want Matisse, then we don't want Beal. That would be unacceptable on many levels. Because I don't think Matisse is going to grow into a guy where he's an untouchable. I think the untouchable crap here is ridiculous. He's very good on defense, right? Yes. But Bradley Beal is a perennial all-star, something I don't think Matisse will ever be. and you have a chance to get him in the middle of Joel Embiid's prime, please get me on board. You need to make that trade. I don't care what anybody else says. That is definitely something that would need to happen for this team to end up making a push at the playoffs. So we'll have to see. And now, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, yeah, I want to talk about the Ben Simmons article. Came out yesterday. It was written by Ramona Shelburne. Very well-written article, by the way. And I want to go over a few key points that I found in that article. So I'm going to pull that article up now. Of course, it's only available on ESPN Plus. So unfortunately, not everybody is going to be able to see it. Sorry. But let me go over some of the key points, right? So Ben Simmons, he still lives about 15 minutes away from the team's headquarters, and he works out during Sixers games, or when he knows there's not going to be anybody on there in or around the training facility. And you know what? And he's worked out separately with his own group of trainers. He has also organized some of his own runs with local players. He's lifted weights at a fitness club that's open to the general public. And he's seen his own therapist, and he hasn't shared this information about the treatment or the therapist with the team. And all while he's living in his house, like I said, in Morristown, New Jersey, 15 minutes away from the complex, which has been put up for sale about 4 or so months ago. So Ben Simmons, everything he's done has been apart from the Sixers, and he started to work out at the facility again, and it's not really an ulterior motive. It's the safest place for him to not get caught by the paparazzi, because basically the places he's gone has gotten leaked. He went to St. Joe's, I believe, to try and get a workout in. People saw it. It was put up on a story. This kid had about 3,000 followers. And sorry, it was at Cherry Hill High School. My bad. It was at Cherry Hill High School. It was put up on a Instagram story. It did not go viral, right? Because I never heard of this. I never seen it. It was put up on a Temple University player, former TU player named Smaj Inge, who has, if I butcher that name wrong, I truly apologize, who has 3,187 followers. And Simmons, he saw this, of course, because what comes around goes around to the Ben Simmons camp, and they don't miss anything. And he knew, he had to find someplace safe. And why not go back to the training facility? Because that's the only place that you're not going to get paparazzi. And it's also not going to, you're not going to get picked up, and you're allowed to, right? You're still technically a part of the team, even though it doesn't really feel like he is at this point. And he's under contract. He gets these benefits. Might get fined a crap ton, sorry. But I don't know why I'm apologizing for cursing, because at the end of the day, I don't think anyone cares. But, we won't. We'll make our effort to not curse. But anyways, you got to realize, dude, no one thought this was going to go on long. I think a lot of people foresaw this saga ending at around the beginning point of the season. And Daryl Morey has not given in to the pressure. And in some cases, you give him credit, right? You give him a lot of credit for not giving in. So here's a little bit of a timeline. Of course, it's all from Ramona Shelburne. Everything I say is coming from her words. So I don't know any of this. I'm just I'm just an observer. I'm a reader. So he's also, all right, so we're saying, and we know this, we've heard this rumor before. He's skeptical of Daryl Morey's willingness to trade him because of previous of the previous pursuit of Harden, who could become a free agent this summer. Simmons would be the best player the Sixers would send in any theoretical trade, of course. He's upset that the organization is finding him so heavily that even after he raised this mental health crap. And you know what? I know that he's probably scared, but I think the mental health at the end of the day is him being scared of Philly fans and not willing to face his fears. And then the article goes on to say that Rich Paul has tried to convince him to fly back to Philadelphia to show good faith. And Sean Tribe, Simmons' older brother, he agreed with Paul. So the decision, they made the decision. So it's not just him. It's not just everybody in his corner saying, you know what, you can take it slow. They're pushing him. You know what? You gotta go. You gotta go back to Philly, dude. You can't stay here in Australia or California, wherever the hell he was living. You can't stay here for much longer, right? Eventually, at the end of the day, sometime you're going to have to go back and face it. You're going to have to face the team, and he did, right? And he did until about October, until he decided I've had enough and got into a feud with Doc Rivers. Rivers kicks him out of practice. He's suspended for one game. I don't know if he's going to play in the home opener, but after that, I was told his mental health officially became a reason for him not playing. I don't know if he was going to play opening night or come back anytime soon, but at the end of the day, he hasn't. He hasn't come back, and it is just, it's unbelievable. Ben Simmons is a grade A-hole, as was Markelle Fultz, as was really Jahlil Okafor. I don't think he gave a damn about getting better in the city, and you know what? He didn't get better around here. He didn't get better anywhere. So thanks, Colangelo, for picking Jahlil Okafor. God almighty, what a freaking waste that Brian Colangelo experiment was, right? I mean, God almighty. That was just not. It's incredible. By the way, as I'm recording, I just got this news. So Dave Yeager, he's going to be back coaching with the Sixers full-time tonight, which is a really good sign, right? I mean, obviously, Yeager, back in around November, diagnosed with cancer, and he's been under cancer treatment for 2+ months. He's back, and hopefully, he's doing better. Of course, we wish Dave Yeager all the best. As of course, you never want to see something that serious go down, but it looks like he is starting to get better, and hopefully he will continue to be on the mend, and on the road to recovery as the season goes on. But it's obviously a plus to get back a coach like David Yeager, bring him back into the equation. Anyways, yeah, let's look at what's coming up next for the Philadelphia 76ers on their schedule. And really, it's a really tough schedule coming up for them. Last time we spoke, they were in the middle of that run where they beat the Magic, they beat the Rockets, they beat the Nets, they beat the Spurs, they beat the Rockets, etc., etc. And now, and they have won 5 straight. That streak's going to be put to the test against the Washington Wizards tonight at 7 o'clock. Recording this on February 2nd, so of course it is tonight. And we will hopefully see the Sixers go ahead and extend that winning streak. They need to keep on winning these games. They are very close to that number 1 seed in the East. They are only a half game back, which is incredible for where you saw this team not too long ago sitting in a play-in spot. Now, I told a lot of people who would listen, I don't think there was a worry for me in terms of their situation. I thought they would bounce back. They have. In fact, they've won 15 of their last 18 games. So you got Washington, right? Tonight. February 2nd. Then Friday, you have the Dallas Mavericks. That game got flexed at 10 o'clock. It's on the road in Dallas, and it's on ESPN. And then you got the Bulls in Chicago. Oh, man, that's a 3:30 game. That's going to be interesting, right? And then you got the Suns on Tuesday at home. That's not an easy game. That is a tough stretch. I don't know how the hell that's going to go. Right? I don't know how that's going to go down. You hope that they play well and at least take three of the next 4 games. Maybe that loss comes to the Suns. Maybe they beat them at home and they drop one against the Chicago Bulls on the road. Either way, it's going to be a stretch that tells you a lot about this team. And we'll see, about this team, how they look and what the future might look like for the 76ers. And that would take us up to, it wouldn't actually, I'm sorry. And then that next Friday, they have the Thunder on the 11th. And on the 12th, they have a game against the Cavs. That's at 7:30. And both those are at home, by the way. And that is after a trade deadline. So the games Washington, Dallas, Chicago, and Phoenix, that takes you up to the trade deadline, which is on the 10th. The Sixers don't play from the 9th to the 11th, the 9th, 10th, and 11th. So Wednesday, Thursday, they will not have a game. Then the 11th, they have a game. So they won't be playing then. Daryl Morey will be able to get onto the phones and really work the lines. Hopefully, I see Sixers make a big-time trade to bolster the roster, and hopefully Ben Simmons gets the hell out of Philadelphia by then. That is it for this podcast. Thank you for watching this edition of Processed. I'm Jack Morgan saying so long and have a great rest of your day, everybody.